Well, we're about to get into a few minutes of disclaimers and introductions and things like that, so if you'd like to skip past all of that and miss all of the content warnings at your own risk, the time code is right here, so enjoy. Warning, the video that you just clicked on is probably going to be the most intensely disgusting thing that you've ever clicked on. Do with that information what you will. Yeah, I'm no stranger to really f***ed up subject matter on this channel. I've discussed the Zoosadis leaks, I've discussed the Giggly Goon Clown scenario, and the carpet sample fursuit guy. And all of that and more have led up to this as the final boss of horrendous, disgusting internet content. I don't normally do, like, content warnings of that nature, but when it's something like this, it's not just a content warning, but a context warning, because, well, today's video is going to center on a website, which is essentially what would happen if you looked at Twitter and you were like, you know what, this website, the one thing that it needs more of, actually, is, like, a bunch of far-left transgender pedophiles that want to touch your kids. I don't know why you would want that. A lot of right-wing people like to talk about all the LGBTs trying to trans the kids and groom the kids and touch the kids and yada yada the kids. And I need you to know I've never even watched The Sound of Freedom. So, like, I'm not even part of that whole thing. But I see bullshit and I call it out, and this is absolutely a group of fucking transgender groomers. I don't know how to make it not what it is, man. Now, after the recent stuff with Mudahar's Keffel's video and other stuff that I've covered in the past, like the aforementioned Giggly Goon Clown, there is just a frankly unavoidable political reality, if you want to call it that. If you want to make it politics, there is an unavoidable political reality that, yeah, there appear to be some small minority of trans people that are grooming kids and want to normalize and destigmatize pedophilia and make it, in the words of one person, slimy and uncomfortable for people to disagree with that. Yeah, so this is gonna be a really horrendous experience. We've got groomers, we've got minors, we've got groomers sexually engaging with minors, we've got pictures of children on the website, we've got really fucking thick and heavy bios filled with pronouns and flags and all sorts of fucking bullshit. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And I'm hoping we can have some kind of a mature dialogue about this, but it's YouTube, so let's just try to keep the slurs to a minimum at least. Anyways, yeah, this is a live clip from several months ago. I did a stream that I was sent a document that was exposing this website called Oddballs Online, and I have not personally verified the heckin' validity of the document. I don't know if any of it is real. It could all be fabricated. It strikes me as all looking very real and authentic, so it's like, I guess maybe all the messages could be faked, but they all look faked in a pretty uniform way, so, I mean, I don't know. I suppose it's possible that it's all just a bunch of bullshit, but, I mean, that just seems like a bit of a stretch, frankly. I mean, it seems like an Occam's razor thing to just be like, yeah, there's probably pedophiles on the internet, you know, it seems likely. So anyway, yeah, no, I'm not entirely certain personally if all of this is fact. Just assume as if this is all just fiction. Warning, guys, none of this is real, it's just fiction, tee-hee. That'll make more sense when you're further into the video, don't worry. And, yeah, also I had to cut around some music in the live stream. We got copyrighted for some Berserk music that was playing, underscoring the dramatic moments, and yeah, so there's gonna be some cuts in the background music, and you'll hear that, but it shouldn't interfere with the experience too much, I hope. Alright, well, that'll about do it for the loud noises and trigger warnings, so thank you very much for sticking through it, and take it away, 5 months ago, me. He's a fucking ass clown. Ezra Orena, known online under the alias Tunimal and Critter Kiddo. So that's your first red flag. Is a furry artist living in Connecticut. He is known online in baby fur, kidcore, and sparkle fur communities. Has many ties to artists, musicians, and creators in those fandoms. Ezra hosts a site previously called offkey.cat, now called Oddballs Online, where it fronts as a website for paraphiles and rad queers. And I can already see the fucking direction that this is gonna go. I've seen some little bits of this where apparently they tell people that don't like that they touch kids, they start to call you a fascist dictator who wants to get oppressive militaristic ACAB regimes in place or something to stop them from loving and expressing themselves. You know what we're dealing with here. Allegedly. There's the allegedly. I need the tiny little allegedly I was planning. Hang on. Allegedly they touch kids, alleged by their own accounts here and stuff like that. We'll just put the allegedly like right over there. You go. It's like the Suicide Squad Joker. Rad queers and paraphiles to feel safe and supported. However, Ezra is fully aware minors are on the site. He approves every member who joins, and that the pedophiles on the site connect with the children. There are several people on the site advocating for the abolishment of the age of consent and the normalization of pedophilia and child sexual abuse. There's even real images of children on the site. And we got a message from Toonimal. I don't know if this is Twitter or what this is. I mean, I guess this site is like its own kind of weird social media or something. It's kind of like that's what it looks like, an offshoot of Twitter. It looks like fucking Blue Sky or something. I hesitate to say this, says Toonimal, because it's been funny watching people scramble about it. But anyone claiming I'm pro-contact is either lying or too lazy to do their own research, by the way. So Bonzi Buddy here with a little kooky emote says, welcome to Oddballs Online. It's a website for paraphiles, rad queers, and their allies who feel excluded on other art sites for the sole crime of being open about their identities or who they support. Yeah, people like this are really good at, like, wording things sometimes. You ever notice how good that people like this, they're like cockroaches. They just manage to... The only thing we did was just be open about ourselves and our beliefs and our opinion. Really, you're the monsters. Who are the real monsters here? I thought this was America. People of all contact stances are permitted to join. But since Oddballs is primarily a site about building an artistic community rather than focusing on our differences, we do discourage extended arguments/heated discussions about the topic. We do not currently have an email server, yada yada yada. Hope to see you around soon. So this is Ezra, his Bonzi buddy. The founder and admin of the site. So the founder of the site is saying that it's got people of all contact stances. So, I mean, if you remember, cast your minds back to like a few years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it would have been. How long ago? Jesus, no, it would have been like 6 or 7 maybe. But the era of the maps and the no maps. The no maps are kind of, that's the one. Where the maps are just pedophiles, but the no maps, they were a really special elite group of pedophiles, if I remember correctly, who were staunchly anti-contact. So it's like, just trust me, bro. Welcome to the world of Bonzi Buddy. He will explore the pediverse with you as your very own. Friend and sidekick, he can talk, walk, joke, browse, search, use Matrix, and download like no other friend you've ever had. Best of all, he's free. Expand on. Now, I don't know why they have to ruin Bonzi Buddy for people. New year, new Ezra. It's good. That's a good Ezra right there. Ezra claims, despite not being as out as queer to his parents, that his father was completely fine with the site. Aunties and their fascist outing tactics not having any actual lasting effects on my relationships with my family members is the funniest thing in the world to me, TBH. They fucking wish, lol! I got one awkward phone call from my dad that was easily taken care of after I explained my side of things, and that's pretty much all I had to deal with in that regard. And, here we come to an interesting, thought exercise, which is to say, I don't endorse the doxing, life ruination kind of shit. It's interesting to consider these people always act like they're so virtuous and proud, and they're so noble, and I want to make this a social good, and we're gonna, fucking enact political change and all this shit. But then the moment that it becomes like their parents finding out, then suddenly it's like, fascist outing techniques, you're outing me! You're outing me! Shouldn't you want people to know? Shouldn't everybody around you know? Again, to be clear, I do not endorse contacting these people. I'm strictly anti-contact. However, it is just always interesting. These people like to claim that they're so fucking the zoophiles too. They're always just so They're so willing to... The zoophiles are more brazen because it's not, you know, as criminalized and not as judged as harshly as, you know, the other thing. So you get a lot of those people on Twitter and whatnot that are, you know, they act very much like they, you know, they're proud and, you know, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, but they don't want anybody in their real life to know about them. It's weird. It's just weird, you know? Yeah, the antis and their fascist outing tactics. Get ready for that. This is the alternate universe version of the pronouns guy. I mean, like, everything that this person and somebody like Ben Shapiro thinks that every trans person is like, seems to be what's happening here. Ezra is openly admitting to visiting Boy Chat, a site where predators can contact children, particularly queer boys, despite him saying he is not pro-contact and that he doesn't endorse abuse on his public socials. He proudly and openly supports a site that has been known to have victimized young boys. Bonzi Buddy here says, "I'm obsessed with Boy Chat. It's such a fascinating website. The fact that Boy Chat has existed almost entirely unchanged from its original format since 1995 is so funny to me for some reason. I respect the refusal to upgrade." Yeah, I'm sure you do. Yeah, the fact that Boy Chat has remained emotionally stunted in the 90s and hasn't grown up at all is really... Fun fact, I'm not doing the Bonzi Buddy voice the whole time, but fun fact, apparently Boy Chat very briefly merged with Girl Chat and became Boy Girl Chat in 2015. But it didn't seem to last long. One love! Boy Chat, Girl Chat, movie! Posting more about his underage family members to this site filled with predators. Playing Minecraft with my niece on Christmas morning while my mom and sister talked adult stuff was some age euphoria-inducing shit, for real. This person's older than me, by the way. Apparently they were born in 93, so they're older than me. Me and my family were watching some silly PBS Kids New Year countdown thing, and the host is a cartoon walrus. When he showed a photo of him with his cousin, who's a real-life walrus, and I pointed it out, and my mom's like, "That happens in real life sometimes, you know?" And my niece is like, "Yep!" And I'm like, "Yeah, I have a cousin who's a cartoon." And my niece immediately says, "Yeah, your monkey character. Oh, she's so right." So... immediately, I am transported back to who are the famous... They're obviously Nick Bait, but who are the other... There were some other people that famously, like, tweeted a lot about their little sister... Snake Thing, I remember. He was one. And Goon Clown. They were both... They were both some of the ones who would just, like... Not necessarily tweet about it in their cases, but I think they would, you know, Discord messages, Telegram group, whatever... where they'd be like, me and my little brother, you know, that kind of thing. And it frequently was a niece or something. So the creepy uncles and you don't hear a lot about the creepy aunts. I mean, like, I don't know, where's the creepy aunts, you know? I mean, I guess this person could have been a creepy aunt, but I don't know. I guess they're on their way to being a FTMTF, so, like, I don't know. But Ezra once again supporting and empathizing with pro-contact pedophiles. To be honest, I'm starting to understand why a lot of pro-Cs are so hostile towards and quick to make assumptions about anti-Cs. Anti-contact, people who don't want to touch children. Well, they want to, but they totally aren't gonna. Far too many anti-Cs are comfortable with resorting to doxing pro-Cs and treating them as people who deserve to have oppressive forces utilized against them. I mean... But you do! Except you do, though! Except if anybody that I've talked about recently does, you do! That would be you! Nobody else, just you! Maybe also that guy who's stalking Paris Hilton, but mostly you! If you are pro-C, then it seems fundamentally unsafe to not assume that anti-Cs are willing to dox you until proven otherwise. You know what sucks is Pro-C is like the name of it's the name of a compressor plugin that I use. FabFilter Pro-C 2. So now I'm just going to be thinking about that. Ezra is seen making it clear he is okay with pedophiles interacting and having relationships with children, going as far as to say children can consent. Bonzi Buddy says, "If you ask me, consent is a very specific and important concept." Hang on. Anytime, just that's the music that plays through my mind whenever somebody starts talking about consent. So like, oh yeah, the ability to give, revoke, or or deny consent, or outright deny consent is an inherent birthright of all living beings, or at least it should be. This is why I find the specific phrasing of minors can't consent or animals can't consent to be so incredibly demeaning, and I wish people would consider using different language. It's just so demeaning. Listen, even I, as someone who doesn't consider myself pro-C and actually agrees that there are dangers to certain types of relationships that probably aren't worth risking, find it hard to take some of you seriously when your base argument hinges on refusing to take the opinions of minors and animals seriously because they're somehow underdeveloped compared to adult humans. Well, I don't know. If you are mentally on the same level as a child or a dog, that's not really relevant. I mean, that's not. It's just not. Like, I'm glad for you that you mentally feel like you're on the same level as a golden retriever. I agree. If you take a position against animal/human and youth/adult relationships, it should not be based on inherent harm or some nebulous, undefinable ability to consent. What anti-Cs should focus on, in my opinion, is the possible harm that can be caused by these relationships and how that potential may be greater than other types of relationships and thus, in your opinion, isn't a risk worth taking. Well, I kind of feel like you're biased. I mean, some people don't care, some people get off on that, and then also sometimes people will just be like, well, but it's not really that bad. I won't be mean, though. I'll be nice to them. And they'll be happy, you know, like Sonic Sega Gamer, maybe, like... No, maybe it's a little weird that most of my friends are kids, but I have to help them out of their mental breakdowns that I have helped cause. Insert group here can't consent is just plain lazy. If this issue is as important as anti-Cs say it is, they need to do better! Oh yeah! That's right! Do better, motherfuckers, you filthy fucking conservatives and you fat Republicans, do better! Ezra also plans to make youth liberation zines to pass out to children. Oh, not the zines. My friends and I are discussing collaborating on a series of youth lib zines. Oh, sock just ing sock youth lib zines for kids that anyone can print out and sneak into their local libraries. And I'm really excited about it. I'm certain that you are. I believe you. Ezra posts about hoping there will be an activist movement for pedophilia. Y'all have no idea how bad I crave actual paraphilia activism. I'm sure I have an idea of some other things you're craving, so I believe it. $50 from M&M fees. Clawfather with the Berserk theme going on. Please cue, I don't know how to say this, crumbling idee fiche softly in the background while we look at Ezra or any user of questionable actions we encounter today. Either that or more death and silence, both from Berserk. Well...
Hi! I'm Yale. We'll just read this again. I make one half of a small plural system alongside Bonzi Buddy. I'm a transsexual FTMTF lesbian zoophile who loves art, animals, science, math, xenofiction, and world building. Nice to meet y'all. To be honest, my attraction to animals is natural and normal. It's my attraction to human women that feels closer to paraphilic.
His following is hidden here. However, pro-contact pedophiles interact with him from ZooCat Pedocat over here at Funny Animal. Not sure if I've seen this artist on Twitter before. This user will be seen in the screenshot compilation advocating for safe sex for minors and pedophiles. Child abusers and minors on the site. As said before, this site allows minors to post on the site. This includes minors talking to adults about sex and vice versa. This is an example of one of the children on the site listing their session and Discord in bio. It's me.
This user.
16M, he, him, might change soon! Because there's definitely no pressure from this community at all to do anything like that. I love to talk to people, especially maps, but all are welcome, unless you're mean. asked nicely for session. AAMs, I don't know what that means, are also outwardly welcomed on the site, and the pedophiles on the site encourage them. Kylira, I know I praise maps a lot on this account, but this is a reminder that AAMs need love and attention too. They're the other side of us maps, and if you're an AAM reading this, know that you're loved, that you're valid, and that you're amazing! Kylira, what is AAM? Adult Attracted Minor. Oh. I see. As an AAM who will be Chrono 18 soon, I'm disappointed that... Chrono 18. I'm disappointed that I won't be able to call myself an AAM anymore and that it's going to become a normal attraction. Yeah, don't worry, it won't stay that way for long. Blood dashes. Oh, no, don't take the Wheel of Time curse words. Don't make your name Wheel of Time related. No! That's why every AAM should try to be a map so they can transition seamlessly into another rapist face. Users also encourage children to look at porn. Those fucking users. Miss Fister over here. Hey, North Carolina's apparently getting a porn age verification law that's going into effect tomorrow. So if you're a porn-addicted minor who can't afford a VPN, I've got a nice little life hack for you. Just go on to hentai sites instead of the big IRL porn sites. They almost never follow these types of laws, and I know this for a fact because I live in Texas, which also has a similar law, and I haven't needed to use a VPN once when visiting the following sites. And a couple of sites with content geared more towards maps, and oh, good God. The screenshots below is the large compilation of screenshots I and others have gathered from Ezra's site. I will warn you, there are graphic discussions of abusing children and animals. There are several admissions of desires to offend, vague admissions of offenses, talking to children online, and many, many more. This will be the largest and most disturbing section of the document. The pedophiles. Bonzi Buddy repeated, not a retweet, but a repeat from Carnival here. It's pathetic how even talking to minors is shamed as predatory, especially if you're queer. We can't keep internalizing that garbage. Thank you, by the way, for the 50 Memphies, and the song is going well. This is a good match. Thank you. Zoocat Pedocat says, I advocate for resources for AAMs to have safe sex with maps, TBH. Well, as long as they're being honest. Sexy Things Are Sexy says, one of my favorite things is children involved in porn. Not necessarily doing stuff, but just being there. Like 8-year-old walking in on mommy cheating on daddy, or daddy getting head from mommy while their toddler plays just feet away. If I hear or see a kid during porn, I just... I made petitions, says Sick Puppy. 2change.org petitions, I guess. Sign the... You want to sign my petition? This can't be good for me, but I feel great. Advocacy to legalize incest and children born from incest. Hang on just a second. What was the other song suggestion there? More Death and Silence from Berserk. Ezra here, maybe a different Ezra? I'm not sure. Not the same Ezra. Okay, Ezra. It's probably productive to give children sex education early on to reduce their naivete. Well, what's with the name Ezra? It just occurs to me, what's the deal with the name Ezra? Boy, that name has taken a real fucking beating through the mud, hasn't it? Anybody named Ezra? That's like an old fucking, like, Amish grandfather name or something. And it's been reappropriated by this type of person. It's probably productive to give children sex education early on to reduce their naivete around sexual matters and potentially enable them to avoid grooming, coercion, or unsafe sexual experimentation. Yeah, see, why do I feel like I shouldn't listen to somebody who's on this site telling me how children can avoid grooming? I kind of feel like you're biased. I don't know. Alyssa Graves, viciously kind, says, at Ezra, provide safe sexual experimentation? Give toddlers sex toys and contraceptives. Probably productive? Sounds like liberal weakness!
No half measures! It's actively abusive to do anything less than enrich all young children with comprehensive sexual knowledge and choice. We live in a sick world that reverses reality. Break through! Teaching children about things is universally and self-evidently a necessary and good thing to do! Break the conditioning! Thanks, Alyssa. Very cool. Ezra says, I should clarify this isn't a horny post. I'm referring to sexual education classes that already exist being taught earlier and probably updated to include more relevant information about staying safe on social media as well as at home or school. Alyssa Graves says, I'm not horny posting either! This is my serious political philosophy! And then continues at someone else here. No one should have the right to use anybody's body if they don't want it! And no one should be forbidden from sex regardless of age! You're reading in an argument I have not made! No, we're reading the one that you made, though. That's the only one that matters. Says, at rape.pet, by the way. Says, Part 2, hypersexual map-friendly fantasy world. With sex seen just as something pleasurable and fun and only reproductive when desired, age of consent wouldn't exist. The only limitations would be whether something could be penetrative without causing lasting harm, and everyone would learn and engage in sexual activities early. Recreational sex would be common between everyone, within families, among friends, coaches and teachers, with students, employees, with each other. So it would be Sodom and Gomorrah is what you're saying. We would be living in a I'm not one of these people who's like really degenerate this and fall of the West that, but like, I don't know. I think we could maybe keep our fucking pants on. I mean, there's a strong difference between, you know, not being afraid to show titties on television, not canceling Janet Jackson's whole life because she showed a fucking nipple one time by accident. You know, there's a difference between that and everybody just banging everybody all the time like we're a bunch of fucking monkeys. There'd be no stigma around age gaps and people would be free to partner with whoever they felt most connected and attracted to. Incest would be normal all the same. A dad and daughter fucking would be just another expression of love. Siblings, cousins, and extended family would all be valid sexual and romantic partner. They really love that word. With such a liberal attitude towards sex, polyamory would be far more common than monogamous relationships. Why limit yourself to one partner? Imagine cuddling, same person by the way, at rape.pet. Imagine cuddling with a little girl, running your hands through her hair as she rests her head on your chest after having sex. Could there be anything more heavenly, beautiful, peaceful, and loving? How do antis not see that? Jessica at Tutors says, need to work at one of these schools where they teach masturbation to kindergarteners that I keep hearing about. And then Cardinal Directions says, at Jessica, allowing open pedophiles in school would at least help the teacher shortage. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. At least. I mean, there might be some other consequences, maybe, down the line, whatever. But it's gonna help the teacher shortage. Miss Pfister says, also at rape.pet, says, need me a hypersexual AFAB AAM to rape me IRL and force me to breed them. So that's a child. They're talking about a child. AFAB is assigned female at birth, I believe. Boy, you people really make a lot of weird fucking loops to jump through with your speech. Just say girl. But sure, that's fine. That's okay. Miss Pfister repeated Alyssa Graves here. We are not a CSA advocate! We are a child love advocate! Sorry, we know it's a meme and we're ruining it! We just felt like being authentic! Rapist face! And you know, the use of we as in they are a system. Multiple people within their brain all want to fuck kids, I guess. Sorry, love them. Child love, just like Mike love. Miss Pfister, Chizu. People may laugh at this, but some youth who claim to be AAMs actually do this type of shit, lol. It's usually much more subtle, though. They'll collect evidence of you being a map with them, and then post it publicly to expose you. Apparently some of them even do it because it's a fetish of theirs. Yes, indeed. Eula says children who can't consent is the biggest cope of our time.
This user
says some zoos tend to be very anti-map and anti-other paras, which is really annoying. Source, I've also been in the community since 3 years.
This user
is a child.
The whole side of the screen can be a Sankey right now, that's fine. Christmas is always great to appreciate how hot your underage relatives are, says Inu. Alyssa Graves at Cummies, and there's no way I'm reading this all in the Alex Jones voice. We are about to get ever more radical about love and pedosexuality. Child love doesn't have to be romantic, sexual, or even platonic. It can be pragmatic as a demonstration of one's principles of childcare. Decolonize / de-Christianize love. You know, the only other time I ever heard the term de-Christianize was a black metal song, so... make it communal and centered around thriving and good times rather than marriage and fucking and making more babies. We want, you know, it's possible that the Christians and you guys have some bad ideas about love and marriage and baby carriages. We want normies insisting, they're totally trustworthy child lover. Of course I love children. Who wouldn't love kids? Well, that's what they want, I guess. I mean, I'm sure that is what you want. This is really quite something, this website, isn't it? Is this like a psyop? Is this like a right-wing psyop? This is crazy. I mean, I don't think it is, but goddamn. This is what liberals actually want. I guess they do. All of them. Every single one of them. It's crazy. We respect aromantics and don't want to force an association with the term that the sex-obsessed Christians have made so sweaty. But we do want the term love to change and become accessible to the aromantic and the aplatonic. I want love to mean, I want good things for you. I'm willing to work to make the world a better place for anyone I value. And also a world where naked brats can... Okay. For a quickie. Remedy here, Zombie Femboy says, at Lucy, pro C? I'm mandatory C. Having sex with children is a moral imperative. The animal system... Pro Cs are awesome and based. Fuck off if you think we are abusers. Well, he's got me there. I guess there's nothing I can say about that. I just have to fuck off.
This user
says, being the adult kids look for during a social event feels fucking great, by the way. You feel safe with little old me. And there's a brony. There's some My Little Pony there. That's good. This shouldn't have to be... Oh, we got a real actually here. This shouldn't have to be said, but for your own safety, never give any personal details about any minor adult relationships you may be in, on either side, to anti-C fundamentalists. It doesn't matter if they claim to not intervene. By openly stating such relationships are immoral, they are still making an indirect threat, as people almost invariably want the world to fit their morality better, and only don't, out of either apathy or inability. Saying this became necessary after seeing a known anti-C in the community state that intervention is not only a personal choice, but a moral imperative. A lot of moral imperatives happening today. Trusting anti-Cs is both a legal and psychological safety risk. It's depressing how much they hurt even the people they claim to protect. And as a personal final note, anti-C fundamentalists are never my friends. They are bullies, and bullying can lead to suicide. They are barely better than full antis. I'd argue they are a form of anti. And so keep in mind, we're talking about people who aren't even anti-pedophile. They just don't want you to talk to... They don't want you to actually contact the kids. Like, these are people they're talking about here that are willing to make the fucking meet you halfway and be like, well, alright, I guess, it's fine if you just think about it. But no, of course that's still not enough for these people. That still would never be enough. So, yeah, the only answer is to just blanket outright say no to any of it, I guess. There's no negotiating with terrorists. They base their beliefs on hand-wavy pseudoscience. I may tolerate anti-Cs as long as no intervention happens, but I still realize that there is always a significant chance of it, and anyone that threatens the freedom of myself and my friends is an enemy. Thank you to Hyperdimension Neptunia and Goku and Lan Hikari for ranting. Zoocat Pedocat at Parapuppy says, kissing my sis since age 10. And we got a little sunglasses guy there. Silly Tip Up says,
Just from casual, non-intimate observation, kids are like really flirty and sexual, to be honest. It's amazing how much their sexuality gets swept under a rug as simply childhood playfulness and silliness. They blush from smooches, they'll smooch people on their own, they'll sit in laps, wiggle around, they'll put their feet in your face, rub their nose against yours. They love touch and sensuality, they just might not have that vocabulary for it yet. Or you might be viewing certain innocent behaviors through a more devious lens. That's another very valid and heckin' valid way of looking at it, really. Bonzi Buddy returns. Good old Ezra is here. Ever since I was a child, back when I first realized that paraphiles existed and I learned about the unfair stigma against them, I knew I wanted to fight for them. For us. I knew it from the beginning, but I still somehow convinced myself to spend years of my life pretending to believe things I knew were wrong. But I'm here now, and I've finally done wasting time. Kiri says, at Bonzi Buddy, can relate. I remember not being fed anti-para stuff as a kid and never saw pedophilic/zoophilic stuff as bad. Even once didn't mind texting a pedo on Messenger as a kid. Only felt guilty that my mom would be mad I'm sending pics to strangers, lol. So yeah, this person was seemingly groomed as a kid to some degree, and they, a lot of these people don't recognize these things, it seems. They often don't seem to recognize or address it or acknowledge it. Where they'll be like, yeah, I had no problem as a kid. I was texting all sorts of pedos left and right. And nothing bad happened to me. And now they're on this website and like, yeah, I mean... That's a real shame that happened to you, but I think you could break the cycle if you really wanted to. Looking at silly to pup says looking at children in public is free and legal if you're careful. Whatever anime this is, all these people are also blown the fuck out. Vile Degenerate over here, who says lolly show / horny posting. And, you can see this. You can read this. If you just take a second and read it if you'd like to. That's fine. I don't think I need to read this one. A fiction warning, though, is on his account. It's just fiction. It's just fiction. It's just fiction. It's just fiction, everybody. Arisu.exe. Imagining in the future companies like Trojan selling kid-sized condoms and they have fun designs like Pokemon. Hey chat, it's hey chat, how you doing? This hurts, Claw. Not great. Thanks for sharing. Not so well, Claw. Not so well. Oh, the music isn't helping. Hang on. This music might be a little too dark for the subject matter. Hold on. I'm sorry. That's my bad. You guys like Kids Bop? Remedy at rape.pet says, want to slightly modify a baby bouncer so I can lay underneath it partially and sit a baby girl down on me. And you can read the rest of that. Okay, no, I'm not doing this. This is not happening. We don't need that. It's clearly in poor taste. Here, I think this will fit perfectly. There you go. New Teal. Has anyone tried calling their underage partner in a trial to testify in their defense? If so, I kind of want to read the court transcript, but at the same time, I know it's going to be depressing. Yeah, I agree. That would be depressing, yes. New Teal, the existence of AAMs is honestly 80% of the reason I'm not dead. For those who aren't involved in this culture and just joined, AAM means a child who's into adults. That's what that means. So in other words, that's basically just, potential exploited victim, Alyssa Graves over here really enjoys the feats on the face thing that someone said earlier. And now we got some more children can consent stuff from Alyssa Graves, the one who really believes this, apparently, by the way. This is their political philosophy. Children must be respected when they say no, in addition to being honored for saying yes. You normativist authoritarians and child abusers. There's an exclamation mark on that. They're upset about this one. We are the real child abusers. If you deny them either their yes or their no, you do not value the consent of young people, and we don't understand how you sleep. Me and my 6 identical headmates. Children can consent! Here we have
This user.
a 17-year-old MTF local cat girl, pro-contact map ally. Since you are pro-C, what do you think could a relationship between a child and an adult be like? It could be however the people involved wanted, as varied as any other kind of relationship. Is that what you've been told? So this
user
is 17, by the way. That's the person who was doing the whole actually bullshit over here. So this is all just stuff that Neptunia over here got, like, fed into their brain by a bunch of strange people on the internet. Basically, people like this got to this person, and as a perfect example of how this happens to people, 17 years old, and they're out here like just spouting all the talking points. There's your proof that this is, I mean, nobody needed proof, but it's just like all these people like, no, it's not harmful to anybody. And like, I mean, you people are walking proof that it is. I don't know. Like, you don't even have to touch anybody. You've touched their hearts. You've got the 17-year-old who just believes this shit. And they're all happy with that, I'm sure, because I mean, ultimately it's just their fetish. They can do the whole like, you child abusers, how can you sleep at night? But it's just that's just your fetish. I mean, you can gussy it up as much as you like, but we know what's happening. Let me see here. Good morning, pedo friends. Pro-C activism here. Humans and non-humans, puberty and up, can consent to sex. Mainstream society is wrong and must change. So it's not just the gender hipsters. I mean, this is some real advanced hipsterism in general. Alyssa Graves over here is doing some fucking roleplay garbage. The witch walks amid a dimly lit internet cafe. The zombie-like afflicted, seated at the computers, are starving from self-neglect and, oh god, it's like a Black Mirror episode, and fear of the outside world. The witch offers comfort to the poor lost souls, and she barely even gets distracted glancing at what they're watching on their monitors. Pedosexuals have their lives getting ruined, getting involved in the porn trade. What does that mean? The porn you mean like selling child porn? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way it works. It's not a new thing. This has been happening for a while, actually. You might want to get with the picture. People hate and scorn them most of all because it is illegal of all whatever other sophistry they may offer. So I love the Gooners, these most downtrodden of us. Damn, she can really take it. Yeah, anyway. So save a Gooner today and love all pedosexuals. The poor witch in the internet cafe. She's just so put upon. XHE, that's the pronoun, I'm sure. Zoocat, pedocat. Is repeating someone here who is probably, it's a 16-year-old trans girl. Guys, what would you look for if you were gonna try to groom someone? What makes them an easy target? Serious tag. Raichi says, I usually look for similar taste in anime so I can talk to them about it and lower their guard. Then they get trapped in my web of deceit, where I finally reveal I want someone to play Left 4 Dead with me on co-op. Raichi, I would say the Pediverse is my 4th favorite online map community. And, what are the others? And if they speak, they're in big trouble. And then we're winding up on the deep web here, so sends you child porn just to win an argument with Zoocat Pedocat here. And Diaper Lovin' Slut really wants to get in some arguments with Zoocat Pedocat as a result of that funny joke. The underage
This user
says, I'm gonna kiss maps with my AAM lips. And Adrian Addy says, I'll be waiting, with a little winky rapist face there. That's good. Jazzy Butts over here says, one day it will be commonly accepted knowledge that denying a child agency is what causes trauma, not sexual contact, unless the sexual contact was rape, because that would be a denial of the child's agency. It's a lot of people who really care a whole lot about the child's agency. They just really care a whole bunch about the child's agency. The fact that they're also into rape and stuff, like, that's the best part with these people, is when they'll be like, you're the monster, you just don't acknowledge the child's agency. And then you look at them and it's like, so what are you also into? Oh,
Rape. Yeah, no, I'm sure you're definitely into the agency. That's what gets you going. I'm sure it's all the agency that baby had. Like, I think some of these people saying stuff about agency are also the people that are talking about literal babies, like actual baby children that they want to do things with. We need a pedo child protection service where we will help AAMs get away from their families, especially those that are out in the middle of nowhere, to house them, feed them, and eventually help them get jobs. Small pansexual, we don't do this already? And then they say, Candy, kinda, but I'm talking about on a bigger organizational level. That's right, we need this to happen in Congress. We need this to be passed. Yeah. That's when you really know God is dead. Candy, like, kids in the city should be easy, but there are also kids in the middle of nowhere that don't have any options to get out in that case, we would either... Oh dear. We would either fundraise for them... Oh dear, that's loud. We would either fundraise for them, the cost for a pedo to get them. You gotta love that phrasing, by the way. In the case of kids in the middle of nowhere, we would either fundraise the cost for a pedo to get them. Yo, get him! Yeah, go get him and get him! Or the cost of an Uber/Lyft to get them to the nearest city. Or just the nearest pedophile, I guess. From House of Cards at Small Pansexual. I wholeheartedly agree. Giving AAMs not only sexual liberation to satisfy their needs and wants, but giving them a long-term plan to sustain themselves will give AAMs a positive outlook in life despite this bleak reality. That seems to be the other undercurrent for these people. It's like, yeah, reality is bleak and it will create fabrications and lie to you. Only we can be trusted. This is a child, by the way, says, ugh, yes, I cannot express how much this would help me. And Small Pansexual says, I wish I had the funds to protect every AAM. I just wish I could safeguard our descendants.
This user
says all of this, and this is also a child, says all this online stuff is fun, but it's making me more and more desperate and horny for something physical. I really wish one of you pedos lived near me.
This user
is also a child. So... you know, here's a bunch of children who are interacting with... I mean, again, late teens, it seems, but it's happening. I mean, it's happening. Alyssa Graves, why can't we just date kindergartners? And I don't know what the fuck is happening here. Hunter, are you scared but no coward? Pedo, arriving at the rendezvous in a parking lot. No fucking way. Yeah, that's me. Are you Kelly? Hunter, you're here to meet an 11-year-old girl? Pedo, I'm here to meet someone I trusted, made friends with, and liked. Hunter, someone you have sexual intentions for. Pedo, aren't you ashamed of yourself? Hunter, huh? I don't think you understand the position you're in. You thought you were texting a very underage girl, and... Pedo, I'm sure I didn't mind thinking I had a young friend, but I wanted to meet Kelly because of all the flirting and the bonding and the encouragement. Oh, that'll help. Yeah, I would love to see this encounter with, like, Chris Hansen. I would love to see Chris Hansen get this person who's just like, well, how about this, you fucking child-abusing monsters? I just wanted to flirt with the 11-year-old and bond with them and encourage them. You fucked with my head and manipulated my feelings to give yourself some kind of thrill by calling me out here. You're a real sicko! He's a fucking sicko! Hunter, but in a chat with Kelly, who you thought was an 11-year-old girl, you shared a fantasy of licking Pedo. Shut up! Seriously, what is wrong with you? I don't pressure people into talking about that stuff. You kept inviting me to share my fantasies because you were already looking forward to shaming me for it. You're nasty. Get some help. This is a real fantasy world that this fucking person is living in. Yeah, this is their epic owns against Chris Hansen that they're coming up with here. Like, this is like that thing where you imagine that you're like on a talk show or something, and it's like you get called out by Conan O'Brien, and it's like, so tell me about then you know, you just imagine like what you would say if you got an Oscar or something like that, but for like pedo hunter shit. Remigi
I think is responding to this person, says, at Viciously Kind, makes me wonder if there's videos of hunters failing miserably. Like the person just doesn't care and they can't actually do anything. Would be funny to see. Look at the little baby in their avatar. At rape.pet. Alyssa Graves, dating kids is a good thing to do. We are now strong pro-C for pedophilia. Dating kids is morally better than dating adults because it's illegal and taboo. Our focus will continue to be harm reduction, now within the context of counseling people for how to safely navigate the dynamics of acute age gaps. Yeah, I bet you find them pretty cute. For a future where it's not illegal to be us anymore. For a future where all kids feel comfortable making a pass at adults. And then you got the little rapist face plus expansion pack there with the C. That's good. And we got more of the... I love how much of this site appears to just be people trying to tackle the same general thing. It's like... I guess it's because it always comes back to this. Like, at a certain point, like, what do you get... Children can't consent. Their brains aren't fully developed, and they can't... They might... A lot of the time, they might think they want stuff, and then... Like, 5 minutes later, have you ever been a kid? Probably. You know, did you ever want, like, a fucking wagon, and then your parents buy you a wagon, and then you don't give a shit about the wagon anymore? Yeah. Kids' desires change like the fucking wind. So, ultimately, when talking to people like, you know, normal people, normies, people like this probably do wind up butting up against children can't consent a lot, and trying to just sort of come up with some kind of justification for it. But, I mean, we've seen, like, if you look through any... And sometimes it'll even be, like, almost convincing. You get some of these people that are like, huh, well, I guess that's a point. Oh, yeah, I guess... And then you look through some of their stuff, and it's like, oh, you're just saying all of this just as lip service because of what you actually want to do. Like, you've just come up... You've just realized the things that you have to say to, like... That you've realized the arguments that kind of set people, like put people off for a second and, like, trip them up. But really, ultimately, what this is that you just want to, you know, rape children. I mean, that's... I mean, a rose by any other name would still be a pedophile. As with all normativist proclamations, I think we read this one already. Is this the one we read? No, we didn't. This is just very similar to one that we read. As with all normativist proclamations, this is the only time, this is the second time I've ever heard that word, and both of them have been on this stream. This is a statement of intention. It reveals something about the person saying it. They are telling you that the young will hold no power in their world. The young will be given no trust. Kids will be made to submit. Yeah, the mind games that they play to kind of go through this, and be, by the way, Hunter x Hunter fans on Suicide Watch, but the sort of mind games that these people like to do, where they try to do the whole, who are the real monsters here? Point the finger at you. No, you're the ones who want to make children submit and have no rights and freedoms. It is you who are the baddies. How is creating that world inside of yourself going to protect them from anyone? You're enshrining values that result in kids dead from preventable or treatable condition. Bullying can lead to suicide! In generation after generation of emotional abuse, in 10-year-olds forced to give... What? In the genocide of intersex. The genocide of intersex. I'm glad this song called Murder is playing for an hour long, by the way. We can't rely on anyone to fight these horrors when they don't even value the young as people, as real goddamn people. Of course kids can consent, and we need to find a way to make it painful and embarrassing and slimy to disagree. You know, so completely change the tables then. Slimy is a good use of the word for, like... That's just a great... It's like... I wouldn't have included the word slimy, but that you did to describe disagreeing with children consenting, just makes me like, yeah, no, that's a good one to actually, this is very slimy behavior that we're seeing here. I mean, obviously on the face of it, it's slimy, but the whole general attempt to, like, get people, like, I don't know, flip the narrative on its head with some nonsense, it's very slimy. Raise the social cost of hatefully repressing youth. We're the real heroes here. Gon, aside from being a pedophile, I'm also a pedosadist and a biastophile. I don't even want to know what that one is. There, I've said it. Somehow this has often made me feel ashamed for not being a good pedophile who fantasizes about being in a gentle and romantic relationship with a kid, but instead about having a violent and non-consensual sex with kids. A-sex, that's what I just said. Obviously this is silly, but it shows how, obviously, but it shows how easy it is to fall into the trap of thinking that attraction equals action. So for all you pedosadists and biastophiles out there, you are valid and a beautiful human being and deserve a happy and dignified life. And let no one tell you otherwise. Why do you need to be valid? I never understand the validity thing. Like, who, in whose eyes? Someone needs to tell these people kids need protection from things like starvation or being blown up, not from seeing someone's butthole. Very specific. Are you, like, mooning the children? Is that your thing, Cardinal Directions? Alright. Taz is a mama now. And also is against the concept of anti-contact. Pregnancy positive, everyone. Taz is a mama. She's gonna be a real good mom. Here we got No Limit Femboy Gooner. They're just fapping to helpless animals getting sodomized. Hashtag Zoo-sadist. Pro-C, Neppy, and Zoo-perv. The anti-C, anti-map, and anti-Zoo-sadist Sappho copy Zoo... Wow, this is a hard fucking this is a hard one to read. This isn't English anymore. We just don't call it English anymore. Call it a new language. This is a neo-speak. It's neo-speak. That's what it is.
This user,
who's a little kid, says, my mom worries that I'm texting pedos on my phone. I am indeed texting pedos on my phone. Love y'all. And Remedy, who says that it's a moral imperative to touch kids, says, that's what I used to think, but most anti-C people I talk to include romantic contact, which I guess means no dating kids either. Aw, but can I at least give them a shout out on my YouTube? Come on. I don't want to let the relationship with Kirby fan die. Here's a she-her trans who loves touching computers, being trans, and their girlfriends. People with minors, DNI, or similar in bio. Please DNI. M is mutuals with Ezra on the site, and they often repost from each other. Below is a color swap of the pedophile pride symbols. Because gender ambiguity. Current day Californian shit. Current day Epstein Island shit. Here's Polecat, and he's got a whole fucking novel in his bio. Old man, liberate everyone by liberating the youth. The oppression of the youth normalizes oppression between... Oh, good God, these fucking communists. The oppression of the youth normalizes oppression, making oppression easier to ignore, / accept how things have always been. Socialist libertarian. Wow, you're the worst of both worlds. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Favorite from my varies from I agree to... What the fuck are you saying? A favorite from my varies from I agree to I found this interesting to think about. Has anyone ever really been far as to use, even go on to try to use, to do, to look more like? I have a special interest in taxonomy and animal social behavior. Lecter made me pro-contact. This is a meme. The contact debate is dumb. But he did say something so incredibly dumb a year or so ago when I was lurking that I completely rethought my entire world view. Lecter, I guess this is an anti-person. Individualism and collectivism are not mutually exclusive. Strong communities are built on love and acceptance of individuals. I will draw activism assets for free, and I will draw youths, trans, or chrono, which is to say, people that are pretending they're children or real children. Because we can't just say real children, we have to pretend that you can be trans age, because everyone is fucking heckin' valid, apparently. OCs in safe for work settings for free. Wow, we really just continue here. Stigmatizing consent. Hang on. Hold on. I feel like this is missing something. Perfect. That's perfect. That is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Stigmatizing consensual sex and getting people used to oppression as children are the most effective eugenics tactics ever used. Oh, it's Movie Bob. Your brain gets good at what it practices and is best at what it practices as a child. If what is practiced is the acceptance of opposite... Oh my god, I can't deal with this, the word valid shows up and oh my god, just kill me. If what is practiced is the acceptance of oppression, the oppressors win. The arguments that the oppression of children are valid are barely distinguishable from the arguments that slavery is beneficial to racial minorities, or what slavery, everyone. How many fucking non-white people do you even think are on this site? It's probably mostly crackers. I don't know why, I just have a feeling. Or women being equal to men is bad for them. We have long held that X group is simply too stupid to make choices, and we've been wrong every time. The track record's bad for the oppressor. When trying to argue someone doesn't deserve rights, perhaps they don't use the reworded arguments of fascists and empires. But that impossible, and you know it, as only fascists and imperials are so invested in striping the rights of others. The rich are trying to train us to be passive by denying our autonomy. Learn to fucking spell, you fucking 5th grade brain. Shut the fuck up. Holy shit, these people that try to act all fucking high and mighty and look at me, I'm so intellectual. You can't even spell the word autonomy. Fuck you. Fuck you! Touch kids in hell! Fuck off! Okay, oh god. But I actually have a reason for this. I have had sex with wolves before. After months of that, it stopped because I had to move because transphobic parents. I heard that they stopped eating as much, playing with other wolves, and were really depressed. Necrissa. I mean, how could you be, like, it's so, this is so white, girls. Pan loves, talking to AAMs. Disarm cops, arm children over here. Just, yeah, disarm the cops, arm the children. Good God. I mean, you can't make it up, right? I don't know what to fucking tell you, but I think the Republicans were right. Fucking ACAB, neo-socialist, fucking trans, degenerate child groomers. This is what we're looking at. I don't know how to make it not what it is. Noir. I remember talking to Kat and another AAM friend, we'll call them S, that's a child, by the way, just keep in mind, on call, about having access to internet at a really young age. They were both around 8 when they had smartphones, so I was like, wow, knowing me, I wonder what I would have been doing if I had an iPhone when I was 9. And S says, you would have easily gotten groomed. I'm sorry. Lamau. They're in their 30s. Afro-Latina, radical leftist. I guess they're not all crackers. Okay. So this is a pro-C child. This child wants to contact adults. Boy kisser over here. Just wants them to know, by the way, of course, that they are heckin' valid. Fuck that Hellsite. Your rights are being violated by those fucking fascists. Small pansexual is a pedophile / map pro-C. Pro-consent, youth lib. Gender and sexuality is he / they. Polycurious. Don't really care what you call me, I'll probably get horny anyways. Well, that's true. I guess I'll just call you a cunt then. My limits are gore and hurtcore, videos of dead and dying people, and scat. Yeah, I see a lot of shit here. There's a lot of scat going on here. It's good that scat's the line. That's good. It's good that they have some line somewhere. No poo-poo. Friend of mine witnessed an old man jerking off in a preschool parking lot the other day, and I had to, like, try and remember what the normal person reaction to that was. Says this user from rape.pet. Remigi over here says, if you aren't okay with lots of posts about sexualizing babies and toddlers, this isn't the account for you. Oh, they're trying to be a babysitter. Remigi also follows several children and interacts with them. There is no doubt he interacts with children outside of oddballs. Yeah, trying to be a babysitter. There you go. Craving neppy porn. Not gonna lie. Oh, it refers to toddler and infant porn. That's great.
That's so great that they're craving that. Really craving children right now. Craving neppy porn, not gonna lie. You know, we got the Sangi up pretty large today, but you know, oh yeah, that's there you go. Just a little bigger for him, that's fine. Sasha says, masturbated in a ball pit today. Almost got kicked in my girl cock by a 12-year-old girl. Would have been difficult to explain my situation. Cummies asks, how did you get away with it? Cardinal Direction says, it's genuinely easier than you might suppose. It's certainly high risk, but possible. And Cummies points out that its Cardinal Direction seems to know a lot about this. Sasha says, well, I barely look my age, and I just choose a very secluded corner. It's really easy, honestly. Like, no one can ever assume someone would do such a thing. Heart emoji. Further admission that this actually happened. So Grumpy, friend of Lecter, says, I just want the CP posters and people who advertise their pizza group chats to get the fuck off Fetty and stop treating it like it's some secret underground network where they're immune to the consequences of their actions, because it shits the place up for everybody. I don't like people like this. And so I guess this is someone who doesn't like that this is a website. This is the guy who's on the Epstein jet, but he's just there shaking his head the whole time to show that he doesn't approve of what's going on. I don't like people that do it, but the fact it's something we have to worry about is still an injustice for everyone, them included. That's a bad, it's an injustice for the pedophiles, everyone. My horny ass could never be a mall Santa, says YSO. Clinically insane sexual deviant, who is also at rape.pet, says that he just needs to have mind-blowing sex with a toddler. It's probably pretty easy to blow the toddler's mind in that scenario, but I wouldn't recommend it. I advocate for resources for AAMs to have safe sex with maps, TBH. That's Zoocat, Pedocat, and Remigi says, horny kids will always exist. It's better to give them safe outlets to explore it, rather than just pretending they aren't, because it makes people uncomfortable. And Cardinal Directions just wants to explore the horny kids' outlets. Don't be gentle with her, we can make another one. Oops, suddenly I'm so horny I can't think straight, says this person. Magical Michaela says, on the other hand, it takes 9 months to make another. More if you like them older than that, so you don't need to be gentle, but maybe try not to break it. This is getting worse. This feels like it's getting worse. This feels like it's getting worse. I just don't know. This feels like it's getting worse, and we're not even halfway through at this point. Image marked as sensitive. We got some child here. Sweet dreams, little Jordan. All my conversational skills revolve around sex, more sex, and grooming kids. Is that bad, SMH? No, I mean, they'll probably encounter more people like that in jail, and I'm sure you won't be around for long anyway, so it's fine. It/she, wannabe white trash cat deer girl, age fluid, 0 to 13, plus 17, intersex lesbian, mostly C4T, autism, ADHD, psychosis, BPD, I don't know, why don't you just check it off anyway? Pro-C, anarchist, youth liberationist, family abolitionist, I love trans girls. And then we got pronouns.cc here as well. Trans Southern, by the way. They have trans IDs on this site. And apparently the admin of the site went to follow the minor. Pedosex is best sex, says Sasha. Bonus points for trans people involved. I just don't know how to make this not what it is, everybody. I just don't know how to make this not what it is. An AAM, transfem, transage, panzoo, necroparaphile. Mentally unstable, self-harming girl. Waiting for someone to fucking end me. Well, you're probably in the right place for that on that website. Oh, somebody's got a CSM tutorial here. They got a tutorial for how to find children, I guess. Some advice if you want to share some files beyond what you can easily share in session or something. And there's images that aren't shown and a bunch of text that's blurred out, but it is a tutorial about it. So now we get into this unfortunate section of, oh boy. Inevitably, on a site filled with pedophiles, on the site there were images of real children being used on the site. Okay, you may have wanted to do a second pass on that. Cambodian travel hotel which issues complimentary little girlfriends during your stay to something tourism. Twin sister LG sex workers who take clients together for extra money. This is all the same guy. This is all these three are all the same guy. How about that? Become ungovernable. You know, there's like, and I'm not saying it for sure, but I'm just saying there's a chance that Movie Bob is on this site. I mean, I don't know. I would not be surprised if it turned out that Movie Bob was on this site. I feel like that's an option. I feel like that's possible. The owner of this account otherwise posted cartoon depictions of underage persons and no CSEM was found on the website. However, the people who interacted with this account are moderators and other users who are already in sexual contact with kids. Each of these kids have Discord accounts, sessions, telegods. Moderators and other users have access to them. It all just seems to add up. Santa's favorite hoe over here. Yep, Dave and Small Pansexual are some of our recurring party members on this stream have certainly followed this individual who likes posting real children. Small Pansexuals, another Pro-C pedophile who was seen earlier. Turn Tech Godhead or Dave. Oh, he said one of the worst things that I've seen on, if I remember correctly, that Deviant. He was the Deviant. Sexual Deviant. Dave is also a moderator on the site, yet follows accounts that post real images of kids. He also interacts often with children and other pro-contact pedophiles. Throwaway AI. Hey all, I'm new here. I hope you all will show a lil girl, see profile, a good time around here. I'm here because I like the name rape.pet, and I like the idea of being a rape pet. AI art stuffs. Here's a pink AI-generated bunny. Ezra claims AI is not allowed on the site, however, a user was seen posting AI art of a child, likely having more in private possession. Creeps, losers, zoo sadists, no limit femboy gooner, we saw him earlier. Just fapping to helpless animals getting sodomized. Hashtag zoo sadist, hashtag zoo sadism. Nakrissa says how to piss off Xanties that say I can't be a zoo cause zoo sad and zoo is about love. State that zoo sad for me is very romantic. Now, it is very difficult sometimes to understand the way these fucking people talk, but I think that means zoo sadism. So for them, they have quite romantic feelings about drilling holes in dogs and fucking them. Anyone want to talk about zoo stuff? Oh, whoa, DM me on Telegram. I'm so bored.
This user
over here says, intro post, we are age fluid, typically 11 to 13, omnisexual, and gender fluid. Map/AAM, Pro-C/Zoo, as well as a Shada/Lolicon. There's probably more here I'm forgetting, lols. Follow me if you like Homestuck, I guess, lol. The future. I'm a necro, but it works differently than my other paraphilias, because for necrophilia, I'm basically exclusively into dead children, but in a non-sexual way, I still am fascinated by dead people in general, as well as dead animals, and for years I wanted to do a taxidermy mount starting from an animal corpse completely intact, but unfortunately I have no idea how to acquire one that isn't already too far gone. I did do a soft mount fox, though. The pelt was already prepared, but was good practice for the steps after that. I showed it to my boyfriend on video call, and he loves it. So it's great to be in a relationship where someone who doesn't only understand my sexual preferences, but is also accepting of my general interests. I feel like I'd be into more things dead if I was male, but there's only so much you can do with a vag when your partner is literally useless because they're dead, Lamau. Ah, rigor mortis, come on, that's just a fetus. Specios says... Oh, this is a conversation with Ezra's alt account. When you posted this, someone told me you worked at a dog shelter who allegedly knew you IRL. That's why I thought you had normal access to animals. I'm neutral in the sense that I don't feel comfortable with the label of anti-contact because I think it erases the nuances of a lot of situations. Like I've said, there are people who think anti-contact equals anti-17-year-olds and 19-year-olds, or who think anti-contact equals shouldn't allow paraphiles around the objects of their attraction in any setting ever, both of which are ridiculous concepts to me. I'm sorry, but can you please phrase that differently? I don't like calling myself anti-contact because too many people define it very strictly, such as being against a 17-year-old dating a 19-year-old, or being against a pedophile literally just happening to exist in the same vicinity as a child. Okay, well those are two different things. You maybe should have you would have had a stronger point if you just ended it at happening to exist. It's like, well, it's not their fault they were born with that in their brains, I guess, but no, I mean, yeah, in the same vicinity as, yeah, that's I would also be anti that probably. Like if the phrase was more specific than the word contact, I might feel differently, but contact can be extremely vague and is open to interpretation. Ezra, I'm not trying to bait you, but do you think pedophiles and sex offenders should work with children? You absolutely are trying to bait me. Stop! Ezra, I am an alter of a Pokemon character who has been 14 years old for a decade who was dragged into making a warning about you. I'm asking for your... I don't know why that's all relevant, but alright. I'm asking for your idea and opinion on youth liberation because I don't know the concept. You being ignorant about youth lib is not an excuse to lie or to assume that it's secretly a kid's zine about pedophilia. You are a chronic liar! Anyway, I repeat, me being okay with someone else being ideologically pro-contact, emphasizing that this is not the same as someone saying that they're acting on their attractions, it's not the same as me claiming it's... Man, this is a lot of explanation, though. The answer should be no. It should just be no. It should be no, don't touch kids, but it's a lot of, well, but, you know, but Kirby fan and I have known each other for a while, though. Ezra again refuses to elaborate on what his definition of youth lib is. He's also caught lying once more about how children aren't posted on the site. They are. Ezra also admits to being friends with predators who are pro-contact. And I mean, I guess there's some of that happening here. We have a rule against AI art realism. Well, that was broken. This person just keeps telling anybody that everybody who disagrees with them and says they're wrong or lying, they just say, neener, no you're lying. So I guess that's a good way of arguing with people. Right. Ezra claims that people with abusive and violent tendencies should be parents, and you're ableist if you disagree. Someone with violent urges shouldn't be a parent either, I guess. They might hurt their kid, or pets either, right? A striat man shouldn't have a daughter. He's attracted to women. He might rape her, right? You're actually stupid. Holy fuck! You're ableist! You just can't make this up. This is everything under the book. So this is, once again, this is the admin of the site. This is the person who runs the site in the gray here, who's trying to make a whole bunch of arguments and say that they totally don't believe this or that. And are you saying you've touched an animal sexually? Dude, come on, even if my answer is yes, I just fucking said it was a childhood experience. So, Ezra likes dogs, allegedly. Vaguely confessed to, allegedly. Right. 89% on the phone, by the way, that's good. Good job. Good for you. I'm glad to see that. Look at this person. This is one of the mods for the website. Incredibly based and controversial wolf dog. I am everything normal people and the powers that be despise. Trans age 12 omni-gay gray binary boy. Autistic, narcissistic, schizospec, borderline beast. Literally insane and utterly irredeemable. I will never die regardless of how bad you may want me to. Pro C for the big three, complex C for others you dislike. Ill punk and anti-recovery. Completely morally indigestible victim. I'd appreciate you not interacting with me if I am on your DNI. Pronouns include hi, him, it, woof, and JPEG. No, they. Make sure you ask them for other options. Alright, lady, whatever floats your boat. There's a child sex ring. Where's my child sex, then? There's a pretty profound lack of child sex in my mod, and in my life, and I'm literally a mod. What the fuck? Little boy corpses, send post. Killing a yap or a zoo for being a yap or a zoo should count as a hate crime. I guess that's youth-attracted person or something. They continue to try to change the definitions. Arisu.exe, this was retweeted by Dave. Antis act like trans IDs that aren't gender are made up. How ridiculous. For starters, everything is made up, such as gender itself. They act like their identities we create to try and feel special. They act like some of us don't have signs growing up. I knew my race was wrong before I learned about trans race. Farians have shifts before they learn about alter-humanity. Trans age have dysphoria before they learn about trans age. Dave is also pro-trans race, thinking that white people can identify as black or other races. No, this is not a joke. Oh good, here's some more good stuff. Post-rad queer, a term for when you have somehow moved beyond typical rad queer ideology in some way. Maybe you're too pro-C for them. Or you're even more inclusive in some way. Maybe you feel that most rad queers these days are too reactionary. If so, this is the term for you. This is a replacement term over ex-rad queer for beings who no longer vibe with the rad queer community. God. I'm sorry, these fucking people who just every fucking day they have a new... No, we can't have that! We can't use that flag anymore! That flag no longer represents what we now have redefined it to represent! I'm no longer comfortable with what we have now decided the old version of that flag means! Now what it means is a different thing, and so you need to use a different flag and use a different term! Shithead! Fuck you! Anyways, post-rad queer, everyone. Here's Cesar Torres. It/Hicks/she alternate/she. That's good. People will call you that. Alternate. Boyfriend is Dave here. Let's see. He's this person is pro contact, IRL yandere, genuinely psychotic, pan disorder, toxic queer, alternate queer, Caesar queer, infini-freak, Schrodinger's existence. How about you fucking... How about you open that box and we find out one way or the other? I don't know. I don't know. Right. Tumblr entities don't know that I, as a biastophile, simply do no care that they see rape as wrong. To me, rape is hot, and I will rape my partners, and they will rape me, and there is nothing they can do about it. Well, I kind of feel like they have an option about the first part of that one. Well, the second part, rather. They will rape you. I don't think you can forcibly have them rape you. We continue here. Being pro-C is based, power of love and understanding and compassion and extreme violence. Oh no, he watches Vinny. Oh no, he's quoting shitty Ringo. Peace and love and extreme violence. Oh no, what a shame. Hello, I'm here again. My guys are mostly hibernating until spring comes. In other words, I'm too depressed to post. Oh, is that what that means? Alright. But I'm an anarchist and youth liberation advocate. I'm not really in the paraphile community, and my paraphilic attractions hardly extend beyond my own art, let alone into real life. That said, I'm not a moralizer, and I have no interest in telling people what not to do. I'm just here to put crazy ideas into people's heads, such as, young people are just as capable of making decisions about themselves as old. So I don't understand this, though. I just don't understand how you could ever believe that. I mean, what the fuck is that? You don't mean to tell me that there's, like, actually a large group of people who think that, right? I mean, I guess not a large group, but, like, any group? Like, no, they just don't. I mean, they just literally don't. Their brains are smaller than adults and not as formed, and they don't have experiences, and they, like... What the fuck do you mean that... Yes, they absolutely are not as capable of making decisions as adults. What the fuck do you... What the fuck? How can you possibly put that in... Oh my god. I don't understand how anybody could possibly have that opinion. I mean, I just don't... that is such fucking cope for, like, what's wrong with you or whatever. just like, no, they can make decisions too. When I was a kid, I knew that I liked mint-flavored things. Seize autonomy for yourself. Yeah, the communists and the communism and its consequences have been disastrous for the human race. It's just the fucking word, the use of the word seize. It's like, yeah, okay. All right, okay, comrade. And while I may be preaching to the choir, sometimes the choir needs a hymnal, if not to read along, then to wield as a weapon. Not sure where that metaphor was going. Anyway, have a good day. Bye. I'm gonna go jerk it to Paw Patrol at the age of 35. Left-handed schizo mouse, genderless F-slur. Youth liberation always and forever. I don't believe in law or morals. Steal from your oppressors. Carry a knife. Resist those that try to control you. Sent from my iPhone. The classic fucking, the word oppressors. Like, I'm sorry your mom grounded you there, Jennifer, but I 29-year-old they, it, she over here. Pro-fic, pro-para, anti-abuse, rad inclusive, feral / taboo artist, a friend to anyone that isn't a bigot. I just don't, you know that people like this never recognize the damage that they are doing either. Like, they don't recognize the damage they're doing to their own fucking point, their own movement, their own whatever. They're just using, like, their identity politics as an excuse so that they can, you know, touch kids, I guess. But it's like, I don't know, like, if you care at all about any of these communities, you'd think that you would have some fucking issues with, like, doing this shit where you're like, anybody who disagrees with child sex is a bigot! Yeah, I don't know, this might be doing, certain movements might be set back a few years if the news of this one gets out. I don't know. Oh my god, another fucking one. Look at this one. He, they, they, problematic NSFW artist, gay as hell, neurodivergent trauma survivor, freaky lil feral baby fur puppy. I hope you feel really unique and special. Well, we've got this fucking chicken scratch. Oh, good God. What is this? Can I even show this? Is this sex? Yeah, there's dicks. There's, like, little dog dicks. It looks like it's like a fucking book that's written in like, crayon. This is the cover of it. It's called Pedo Punk. And, it's, like, written in fucking crayon or some shit. It's got an oh, whoa right there and the little sex symbols. Little triangles or whatever. This is from Fwucky, whose bio just says pussy. And I can't show it, like the pages of it here. But it says, I love kids. I love youth. I love the power and the beauty inside every young mind. The spirit, the desire for freedom. They dare, with an underline, to dream of the impossible, of wondrous worlds completely unlike this one. You hate kids? You find them annoying? Quote unquote. Children should be seen, not heard, huh? Fuck you. How could you hate something so... And I guess it continues, and then there's just a completely unrelated second page that's not a continuation of that, though, but there's another... It does continue on, like, another page, like, it's page 1, and then on, like, page 4 or something it continues. Page 2, there's a dog drawn in crayon with, like, a little stiffy, and large balls. And there's something happening that I can't identify with two animal creatures going, oh gosh. And then it reads underneath that. I'll just show this part. Can I show this part? Yeah, I think technically there might be something on the next page, but don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. It's just a couple of weirdly drawn smiley faces. It's fine. It reads, "You're so cute. Kids are so fucking sexy." And, I think the first time I had sex was when I sucked my brother. Okay. And, yeah, we talk about that for a bit. How can you hate someone so helpless and broken, beaten, enslaved, someone who can't even cry out for help because they don't know how to, because no one will listen?
And that's why he loves kids. That's why this guy loves kids. So moving along from that. Oh, this is the end of the book, by the way. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. So, you just can't make this up. You're beautiful and I love you. That's the end of the pedo punk book. And there's a little dog with an asshole there. Fucky is also in-person friends with Funny Dog Meets. They also attend meetups where minors are allowed called Plur Picnic, or another time, Cutie Fest. Funny Dog Meets, same place, same time. Invite all your friends and critters for another round of the fire picnic. Retweet, though, because I got lazy and didn't make the flyer till today. Jane's Plur Picnic. Sunday, September 3rd, from early afternoon till late. Friends, candy, music, food, art vending. Bring a blanket to sit on, pack some candy and snacks to share, and come hang out with us. Oh, look at this thing that Fucky apparently likes to leave this around in Seattle. Apparently this is from... So if you haven't noticed so far, if you didn't know already, the swirl and the little swirly triangle are like boys love and girls love, or whatever. Nambla and girl Nambla. This is the conclusion. We're finally done, everybody. It's over. We are done with this part of the fucking stream. We can move on. Celebrate now. This is the conclusion. Ezra Arena runs a site that hosts not just pedophiles, but allows them to talk to children and hosts real images of children, even if it isn't specifically posted onto the Oddballs section of Mastodon. Oh, it's on Mastodon, is it? Oh, that's funny. It is still all connected in the same. Ezra could have used another platform, but in the end shouldn't have made a platform like this at all. Real children have already been hurt. They have been groomed and exploited. These are children who also suffer from paraphiliac disorders and need help and support, not encouragement from pedophiles they meet online. These are all vulnerable queer children who are at risk for... Well, let's just stop for a second there and ask ourselves, though, I mean, how many of these people were going to transition before they got super heckin' valid sweeties telling them that it was a good idea? I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there, you know, at a vulnerable young age and all that. Right, but, you know, they are certainly at risk for further abuse. If any of them were to meet with these predators, Ezra claims that we the people making this document and reporting him to the police are hurting vulnerable queer people, but I heavily disagree. Every single person who has contributed to his police report is queer. Some of us QPOC. Oh my god. Well, fucking Jesus Christ. Now this is heckin' valid. I didn't realize you guys were valid too. Jesus Christ. Almost all of us are victims of child sexual abuse. Unfortunately, not all victims of sexual abuse realize what happened to them was traumatizing and wrong. These children who think that pedophilia is normal and okay to practice are only endangering themselves and will continue the cycle of abuse to future generations of children. The site Ezra uses to host was created by someone who condones child porn being used on his platform and will defend the predators on his site in every way he can. Reports have been sent and ignored regarding the fact that children are in his sites, the sites that he hosts, and reporting to his site would be futile regardless because the site only allows you to contact him if it's regarding sales or wanting to install his software. So in the end, this isn't just about Ezra, but a bigger issue that he proudly perpetuates, that is the paraphile movement. As long as there are people like him who advocate for pedophiles to have access to children, this will always be an issue. Ezra, you have created a space where actual vulnerable queers are at risk for abuse. They're really smearing those queers, damn. One can only pray that those children will receive proper help and care before they hurt other children or end up even more traumatized themselves. For this, Ezra, you are a sick fucking person and deserves whatever may come to you. And, yeah, I mean, Ezra and all these people, again, real unfortunate, anybody whose name is Ezra. I don't know, you're gonna want to deal with that. This is like your old, like, Mennonite grandpa is named Ezra. This is like, dude, grandpa, that name is different now. You don't, go with, like, Trent, that's better. You're really setting gay people back. Like, when the number one thing with like old Republican senators and like, what's next? We're gonna be marrying our children and fucking goats? Like, well, apparently
You know, apparently there's people like this who would really like that to happen. Or at the very least are willing to use, you know, fairly legitimate social groups as like fucking Space Invaders cover shields to, you know, protect themselves while they shoot down little kids to victimize. That metaphor went off the rails there a little bit. Don't know where I was going with that. The point is
to be aware that no matter who you are, whatever your politics may be, or your beliefs, or your lifestyle, something that you care about may well be infiltrated by a bunch of fucking sickos looking for a good time and trying to use your thing as a smokescreen for that. If you're going to treat this situation as if it reflects poorly on all trans people or all left-wing people, you have to look at the same sort of thing going on with, what was it, the Catholic Church or the Christian Church? One of those. It's the same thing, right? I obviously don't think that every random fucking religious guy in America is out there fiddling the kiddos. I mean, probably a lot of them are, but not all of them. But a lot of people make a lot of excuses for the shit that is going on there, and they act as if they try to downplay it, they try to what about some other shit. If you bring up the Catholic Church, people will bring up the trans thing. And it's like, no, we have to face both of these scenarios head on. We can't just keep acting as if these things aren't happening. We can't just keep acting, oh, the right-wingers just keep making up trans grooming. No, it's happening. Look at it with your own eyes. This isn't the only time, and it probably won't be the last time. So, the ultimate goal for societal sanity is to fucking stop supporting this. Stop allowing it to happen. Stop allowing these things to fester. Learn from our mistakes, people. And so similarly, yes, they'll infiltrate your religion. They'll infiltrate your social group. They'll recognize any scenario where they can grab power and they can use shame and guilt to essentially force people into agreeing with them. And unfortunately, it starts to venture into very sketchy thought crime territory because, yeah, I mean, no one should be persecuted for the thoughts that they have in their head, but, I mean, look at these people. Clearly, we can't be allowed nice things like the freedom to think, because that's literally what they're advocating for, is this whole, like, it's not a crime to talk about it, it's not a crime to blah blah blah, and you can see the slippery slope, and it's so slippery that people are actively doing fucking cartwheels as they're going down the goddamn thing. And at the end of the day, I still do support, you know, freedom of speech and free thought and yada yada yada, but boy, does it ever fucking hurt to do so sometimes. Well, big thanks as usual to my $20 and up excellent dudes over on Patreon. Thank you very much, Stilk Meek, Andy Blackout Drums, Soup, Iron, Vomilet, Richard Troiano, Isabel Jensen, Frenchie, Daydrunk Paralegal, Scott Ullis, Jolie Doomed, AJ Osipova, and my top boys, Xylax and Nico Skywalker 01. Thank you both very much. I will be getting to that one soon, Nico Skywalker, by the way. Thank you for the request. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. This was a disgusting nightmare. It was a tough one to get through for, you know, the editing took a while. I had to do a lot of minor name censoring, and it was a major process, let me tell you. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and have a nicer day after you're done. You know, try to watch something cute after this. I don't know, put on like a fucking Coco Melon video. I don't know. Take it easy. Penis.